There's a moment, right after you wake up, where everything feels hazy. You've had what should have been enough sleep. 7, maybe even 8 hours. But instead of feeling recharged, you feel like you're dragging yourself through water. Your brain's not responding. You pick up your phone, hoping the scroll will jumpstart something, but it only makes things worse. You get distracted, anxious, overstimulated. You think maybe it's stress. Maybe it's something you ate. Maybe you're just not trying hard enough. But it's not any of those things. You're just starting your day completely out of sync with how your brain was built to operate. Brain fog is not some vague, unscientific concept. It's real. It's measurable. It affects focus, short-term memory, mental clarity, and emotional regulation. You can feel completely awake, yet mentally paralyzed. And this isn't rare. It's the new normal for millions. But what if I told you that the fog you're experiencing, the inability to focus, the memory glitches, the scattered thoughts, is often caused by one overlooked biological habit that you're skipping the moment your day begins? No, it's not meditation, not journaling, not supplements, not a productivity app or some crazy morning challenge. It's light. Morning light. Real outdoor light. And I don't mean opening your window and glancing outside. I mean stepping outside, letting the light hit your eyes, and doing it as one of the first things after you wake up. This might sound too simple to be effective, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools you have to control your brain's chemistry. What you do in the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking determines whether your brain enters an optimal state or falls into fog. And it all begins with your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is your body's 24-hour clock. It controls when you feel sleepy, when you feel alert, when hormones are released, when your digestion peaks, and when your body is primed for learning or rest. The system is deeply wired into your biology. Every living creature has it, even plants and bacteria. But for humans, it's especially important because our brains are so sensitive to environmental cues. And one of the strongest cues, perhaps the most important one, is sunlight. When sunlight enters your eyes in the morning, it activates special cells in your retina that send signals directly to a part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. This part of the brain then triggers a chain reaction, reducing melatonin production, increasing cortisol, and activating systems that control alertness, focus, and even metabolism. And here's the problem. Most of us never give our brain this signal. We wake up, stay inside, expose ourselves to dim artificial light, then blast ourselves with screen light that's mistimed and unbalanced. The result? Our brain stays in sleep mode longer than it should. Melatonin, the hormone that helps us sleep, remains elevated. Cortisol, the hormone that helps us wake up, stays low or spikes at the wrong time. Our energy crashes in the afternoon. Our mood dips, and we end up caffeinating, compensating, or collapsing. This is what brain fog really is. A failure to synchronize your internal systems with the external environment. And the solution is as simple as fixing the timing of your exposure to light. So, how do you apply this? It starts with making a rule. Within 30 minutes of waking up, get outside, even if it's cloudy, even if it's cold, even if it's for just 5 to 10 minutes. Walk outside, stand on your balcony, sit in the sunlight while sipping water. Don't wear sunglasses, don't stay behind a window, because glass blocks the UV and brightness your brain needs to register the light signal properly. The key is for your eyes, not your skin, to detect the intensity and wavelength of the light. That's what triggers your SCN and kicks your system into gear. And yes, the difference between artificial light and real sunlight is massive. Indoor lighting gives you maybe 100 to 500 lux, a measurement of brightness. Your phone screen might give you a little more, but outdoor light, even on a cloudy day, gives you between 10,000 to 50,000 lux. On a sunny day, it's over 100,000 lux. That's the kind of intensity your brain was built to respond to. Not a desk lamp, not a phone screen, not your overhead kitchen light. Now, let's go deeper. What exactly happens to your brain once this morning light hits your retina? First, melatonin production stops. This is huge. Melatonin is what makes you feel sleepy. It's essential for sleep, but it has to drop off sharply when you wake up. Otherwise, your brain stays sluggish. Most people think melatonin is only relevant at night, but it's just as important in the morning. If it lingers, you feel like you're thinking through mud. Second, cortisol increases. And before you freak out about cortisol being a stress hormone, understand this. Cortisol is also your wake-up hormone. It helps regulate your immune system, reduce inflammation, and prepare your body for activity. When cortisol spikes at the right time, early in the morning, it's a powerful ally. The problem is when it spikes too late or too often, like when you're glued to your phone before bed, or staring at bright screens in darkness. But there's more. Morning sunlight also affects your dopamine levels. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter of motivation and reward, rises naturally in response to early light. Studies have shown that light exposure, especially in the morning, boosts dopamine in parts of the brain related to motivation, attention, and learning. This is why people who start their day with sunlight often feel more driven, more focused, and less mentally off. Still think it's just a wellness trend? There's hard science behind all of this. Neuroscientists like Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford have spoken extensively about how morning light is one of the most foundational habits for cognitive clarity and emotional balance. In fact, there are even studies showing that people who get morning light consistently experience lower rates of depression, anxiety, and even obesity. This isn't just about waking up better. It's about functioning better across every level of your biology. And here's the kicker. It costs nothing. You don't need supplements. You don't need to buy a light therapy box. You don't need to change your entire lifestyle. You just need to walk outside. And once it becomes a routine, you'll notice something strange. You start sleeping better. You fall asleep faster. You wake up more naturally without alarms. Your cravings reduce. Your mind sharpens. Your stress tolerance increases. That one habit creates a ripple effect across everything else. Once you begin seeing the results of morning light, the next question becomes, how consistent does this habit need to be? The answer is, very. Your circadian rhythm doesn't run on a single exposure. It's like a muscle. It adapts to patterns. The more consistently you train it with the same light input each morning, the stronger it becomes. Miss a few days, and you might still feel fine. But after a week or two of skipping sunlight in the morning, you'll start noticing the slow return of brain fog, low energy, mood dips, and poor sleep. And here's something most people don't realize. Your circadian rhythm affects nearly every major system in your body. Your digestion, your metabolism, your immune system. All of them are timed based on that rhythm. Morning light doesn't just wake you up, it tells your entire body, the day has begun. Adjust everything accordingly. Your digestive enzymes begin releasing at the right time. Your liver starts metabolizing more efficiently. Even the hormones responsible for fat storage and hunger, like leptin and ghrelin, become more stable. So, if you're struggling with energy crashes in the afternoon, random food cravings, or poor sleep at night, morning light may be the missing link. You're not broken, you're just unsynced. Now, let's tackle some common objections. What if you live in a place where the sun doesn't show up for days? What if you wake up before the sun rises, or work night shifts? These are real issues, but there are still solutions. Even on a cloudy day, the light intensity outdoors is often still strong enough to help regulate your rhythm. Overcast skies still emit more lux than indoor lights. If you truly can't get outside, sitting near a large, uncovered window for 15 to 20 minutes is a decent alternative. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. If you're waking before sunrise or live in regions where winters are dark, you might consider investing in a 10,000 lux light therapy box, but only if getting real daylight is impossible. Sit near it for about 15 to 20 minutes while working or reading. The key is to expose your eyes, not your skin, to this brightness early in your wake cycle. But again, natural light is superior. No artificial device has the full spectrum of benefits that actual daylight provides. You might be thinking, that's great, but I'm just not a morning person. The truth is, being a night owl or early bird is partly genetic, but also largely conditioned. You can gradually train your circadian rhythm to shift by 15-minute increments per day. Go to bed a little earlier. Get morning light a little earlier. After a few days, your wake time and sleep quality will begin to adjust. Let's talk about the role of screens in all of this. One of the biggest enemies of a healthy circadian rhythm is blue light exposure at night. If you're staring at your phone or laptop just before bed, you're essentially sending your brain a false morning signal. It suppresses melatonin production, delays sleep onset, and confuses your system. So, not only are you missing the right signals in the morning, you're giving it the wrong ones at night. One of the most powerful 1 to 2 combos you can implement for fixing brain fog is this. Get bright natural light early in the day and minimize artificial light late at night. It's a full reset button for your biological timing. So, what should your ideal morning routine look like? Wake up. Don't touch your phone. Stand up. Drink water. Step outside. If you want to walk, walk. If you want to sit in the sun, sit. Breathe. Let your eyes soak in the sky, the trees, the air. Stay out there for at least 5 minutes. If you have 10 to 15 minutes, even better. Then return and begin your day. That's it. No biohacking. No complex optimization. Just give your brain the single thing it was evolved to receive first thing in the morning. Light. You can pair this with grounding, putting your bare feet on grass or soil to help regulate your nervous system. Or movement, like light, stretching, or a slow walk. But even if all you do is step outside and stand still, the impact is real. Your brain doesn't need more input. It needs the right input at the right time. Let's now look at some real-life cases. There are people who've tried everything: supplements, nootropics, meditation apps, bulletproof coffee, even prescription medications, all in the pursuit of better focus and mental clarity. And many of them report that the first actual change they felt came when they started exposing themselves to real light early in the morning. Within a week, they felt less groggy. Their midday crashes reduced. Their sleep became more consistent, and they started relying less on caffeine or stimulants. That's not a coincidence. It's how the body is wired. We've been conditioned to think productivity is about discipline or willpower. But biology comes before behavior. If your brain is chemically out of sync, no productivity system will stick. Morning light doesn't replace effort, but it lays the foundation for that effort to work. There's also a psychological shift that happens when you begin your day this way. When you step outside first thing in the morning, your senses open. You stop rushing. You stop reacting. You become present. You claim the morning instead of being pulled into it by chaos. This moment of pause, this reset, becomes your anchor. And once you anchor your mornings, you begin to anchor your life. Still not convinced? Let's zoom out. What's the cost of not fixing this? Unchecked brain fog leads to chronic stress, missed deadlines, poor decisions, burnout, and even depression. You live most of your day reacting instead of creating. Your confidence erodes. You begin to believe you're the problem. But in many cases, it's not you. It's your system. You're waking up wrong. You're entering your day with misfired chemicals and confused neural signals. And all of that can begin to shift with the simplest habit: stand in the light. Let's take a step deeper into how this one habit becomes a gateway to other transformations, and why fixing your brain fog isn't just about clarity, but about control. Most people are stuck in reactive cycles. They wake up and immediately consume content. They reach for stimulation, not restoration. Their first 10 minutes are dictated by whatever app shows them the most notifications. This is not just a bad habit, it's a neurological hijack. You're giving your brain a dopamine spike before it's biologically prepared to handle it. And when that happens repeatedly, your baseline dopamine levels start to drop. You feel duller, less motivated, more foggy. You need more stimulation just to feel normal. That cycle burns out your ability to focus deeply or feel excited by anything slow or calm. But here's what morning sunlight does. It resets your dopamine system. When your brain receives natural light early in the day, it triggers a healthy release of dopamine in areas associated with focus, drive, and satisfaction, like the prefrontal cortex and the nucleus accumbens. And it does this in a balanced, sustainable way. Not like the sharp, addictive peaks of phone notifications or fast-scrolling content. So, when you start your day by getting that light, you're not just clearing brain fog. You're recalibrating your reward system. You're training your brain to feel motivated by the right things: movement, learning, problem-solving, creating, not just consumption. You feel more in control because your biology begins to work with you, not against you. Now, let's look at how this habit affects your mood. Mood is not magic, it's chemistry. And morning light is a powerful tool for balancing some of the most important mood-related neurotransmitters, like serotonin. When your eyes detect daylight, especially in the morning, serotonin production increases. Serotonin, in turn, affects everything from your sense of well-being to your ability to regulate emotions, reduce anxiety, and feel connected to life. What's even more interesting is that serotonin and melatonin are connected. They are literally built from the same chemical backbone. At night, your body converts serotonin into melatonin to help you fall asleep. So, if your serotonin levels are low throughout the day, your melatonin cycle will also be disrupted, leading to poor sleep, restless thoughts, and more fog the next morning. So, again, what looks like a random mental slump is often just your body responding to a pattern of mistimed or missing signals. And morning light is one of the strongest reset switches you can flip to get out of it. We also need to talk about consistency, because while one day of morning sunlight can help, the real transformation comes when this becomes non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and debate whether or not you should brush. You just do it, because you know it keeps decay away. The same logic applies here, except instead of preventing dental decay, you're preventing mental decay. You're protecting your focus, your mood, your clarity, day after day, in a way that compounds. And if you've ever tried a bunch of complicated morning routines and failed, this is good news. You don't need a 2-hour optimized system with 10 steps and 3 journals. You need this one, simple cornerstone habit. Wake up, hydrate, get outside, and let your brain come online naturally, the way it was meant to. Let's answer a few practical questions you might be wondering at this point. 1. How long do I need to be in the sunlight? Generally, 5 to 10 minutes on a clear, sunny day is enough. On cloudy or overcast days, you may need 15 to 20 minutes. The earlier, the better, but within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking is ideal. The further you are from the equator, the more time you might need. 2. What if I wake up late or work night shifts? Then the timing shifts. You want to get outside as soon as possible after waking, even if your wake time is unconventional. The brain still responds to light timing in relation to waking, not just based on clock time. 3. Can sunglasses or windows block the benefits? Yes. Sunglasses block key wavelengths, especially UV and blue light, which your retina needs to detect to trigger the proper brain signals. Windows filter out much of the intensity. If safety requires sunglasses, it's better than nothing, but ideally, expose your eyes without lenses or glass barriers. 4. Should I pair this with movement? Absolutely. Walking amplifies the benefits. Physical movement while exposed to natural light helps further boost mood, oxygen flow, and dopamine release. Even 5 minutes of slow walking can double the impact of the light exposure. 5. What if I live in a cold climate or dark region? Bundle up and step outside anyway. You don't need to sunbathe or feel warmth for this to work. It's about light intensity, not heat. If it's completely dark for long periods where you live, a certified 10,000 lux therapy lamp placed at eye level can help simulate the effect. Now, let's touch on something more personal. Identity. One of the most powerful changes that happens when you make this a daily habit is not just physical, it's psychological. You begin to see yourself differently. You start to think, I'm the kind of person who takes care of my mind. I'm not lazy, I'm not scattered, I'm not broken. I'm just giving my brain what it actually needs. And from that place, everything else becomes easier. Work, relationships, creativity, even rest. Brain fog is not your personality. It's not who you are. It's a state, a temporary condition, and you have the power to change that state every morning with a 5-minute decision. Over time, you'll notice something else too. The urge to escape will decrease. You won't need endless social media scrolls just to feel stimulated. You won't need 5 cups of coffee to feel functional. You won't wake up dreading the day. You'll start feeling like your mind is finally on your team, not fighting against you. And that's what this is really about. Not just feeling better in the moment, but getting your mind back, reclaiming your inner clarity, restoring your natural rhythm, and doing it not with some fancy tech or complex system, but with light, something ancient, available, free, and deeply connected to the way your biology was designed. Now that we've broken down the science, the practice, and the long-term impact of this one habit, let's zoom out even further. Why does this matter in today's world more than ever before? Because we are living in a time where everything is pulling us out of sync. We live under artificial lights, work in windowless rooms, stare at blue-lit screens for 10+ hours a day, eat at random times, and ignore the sun entirely, except maybe during a vacation or Instagram post. Our biology, however, hasn't caught up. It still expects to be anchored to the natural light-dark cycle, the same rhythm it's used for thousands of years. What happens when we abandon that rhythm? The rise in anxiety, the chronic exhaustion, the irritability, the focus issues, the 3 a.m. overthinking, the crashes, the burnout. These aren't random. They are systemic, and they are a signal. A signal that we've forgotten the most basic rule of our operating system. Give the body what it needs first, before you expect it to perform. Let's use an analogy. Imagine waking up and expecting your phone to work perfectly all day, without plugging it into a charger overnight. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what we do with our brains. We expect them to focus, solve, produce, engage, perform. But we don't give them the foundational charge they are designed to receive every morning. Real light. You wouldn't expect a plant to grow without sunlight. You wouldn't expect a car to start without fuel. Yet somehow, we've normalized expecting our minds to function at their best while depriving them of the most basic natural cue. And the beauty is, it's not too late to fix it. You don't need to throw your life upside down. You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to delete your apps or escape to a mountain. You just need to start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes of stepping outside, looking up and saying, I'm starting my day with intention. Let it become a ritual, not because of discipline, but because of how good it feels to function properly again. You'll know it's working when you start to feel less frantic, when you stop feeling like you're behind, when your mornings feel quieter, more grounded, when your body wakes up without alarms, when your energy stabilizes and your thoughts become less noisy. You'll also notice that other habits become easier. You'll find yourself making better food choices. You'll feel more patient. You'll remember things more clearly. You'll scroll less. You'll react less. The mind that once felt chaotic begins to feel orderly because you've reconnected it to something stable. And this one habit, this daily light exposure, acts like a keystone. It's the kind of habit that holds other habits in place. Miss it, and everything begins to drift. Keep it, and the rest realigns. Here's a suggested simple template to follow for the next 7 days. Wake up at roughly the same time each day. Do not check your phone or messages for the first 10 minutes. Drink a full glass of water to rehydrate your system. Step outside, on your balcony, your porch, your street, your roof, wherever you can. Let the light hit your eyes directly. No sunglasses, no glass barriers. Breathe. Observe. Let your senses adjust. Stay for 5 to 15 minutes. Don't overthink. Don't optimize. Just do this. If you do this daily, you'll notice results within the week. Maybe not dramatic ones, but subtle ones that matter. Calmer mornings, clearer focus, fewer mental crashes. And as that clarity grows, you'll start to realize something even deeper. That most of what you were chasing, productivity, motivation, discipline, mental strength, was already inside you. It was just buried under noise, overstimulation, and mistimed habits. You don't need a new version of yourself. You need the real one, the one that's already wired for clarity, rhythm, balance. Morning light doesn't create that version. It reveals it. So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up and feel the urge to scroll, pause. Instead, get up, step outside, and give your brain what it's been missing, its first true input of the day. Let the sun become your first screen. Let nature be your first notification. Because this one habit, as simple as it is, might just change everything.